Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The private market is on fire right now, and at the center of it all is OpenAI. Just 3 years ago, Sam Altman launched ChatGPT, and that moment set off what's now become the most explosive bull run in startup history. And today, the numbers are staggering. A basket of just 7 of the highest valued tech startups has almost doubled in a single year, now worth a combined $1.3 trillion according to Forge Global, a platform that tracks trading activity, funding valuations, and tender offers. If you're enjoying this, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into AI and tech trends. And leading the way is OpenAI, the company that lit the fuse. Forge puts its valuation at around $324 billion. Behind it is Anthropic, just 4 years old, already sitting at $178 billion. Elon Musk's xAI comes in at $90 billion. Databricks, thanks to its massive bets on AI analytics, is now worth $100 billion. And then there's SpaceX at $456 billion, Stripe at $92 billion, and defense tech firm Anduril at $53 billion. Add it all together and you've got $1.3 trillion locked up in just 7 companies. That's not only massive, it's almost doubled since last year and quadrupled since the end of 2022 when ChatGPT first went public. Forge's CEO Kelly Rodriguez says what we're seeing isn't just hype. These aren't empty numbers. He claims companies are growing at 100, 200, even 300%. And that's on top of already huge revenue bases. He calls it growth we've simply never seen before in the private market. The appetite for AI exposure is driving everything. Investors are flooding money into the sector, with 19 AI firms raising $65 billion this year alone. That's 77% of all the private capital raised across the entire market. And with cash like that, there's very little incentive for these companies to go public anytime soon. Rodriguez himself says if they have liquidity in private trading and essentially unlimited access to capital, the only thing that could push them to list would be regulation. Until then, these companies are happy to stay private while their valuations balloon. In fact, staying private shields them from quarterly earnings pressure and the scrutiny of Wall Street analysts, allowing them to focus on scaling infrastructure and recruiting talent without distraction. That flexibility has become one of the biggest advantages in the current AI arms race. But the story doesn't end in the private markets. These private valuations are already reshaping the public markets too. Oracle's stock jumped 36% in a single day this month, after it announced a huge contract with OpenAI. Broadcom also sealed a major deal with the ChatGPT creator, and Microsoft continues to benefit from its massive equity stake in OpenAI. Meanwhile, the big cloud providers, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, have all boosted their capital expenditure guidance, preparing for the infrastructure boom AI demands. And the numbers keep getting more extreme. Just recently, CNBC reported that Elon Musk's xAI is raising another $10 billion at a valuation of $200 billion. That's just months after it was valued at $150 billion. That's the pace of this boom, valuations jumping tens of billions in mere months. The comparison to the public markets is unavoidable. Nvidia, Broadcom, Oracle. All of them have seen their market caps explode thanks to AI. Now the same is happening in private markets, only faster, and with far more concentrated bets. And it's not just the AI model companies themselves. SpaceX is part of the mix at $456 billion because its launch infrastructure is seen as critical for satellite data and defense. Stripe, still a fintech, is at $92 billion, and even defense tech firm Anduril at $53 billion is now attracting capital through Forge's new dedicated defense fund, designed specifically to give institutional investors exposure to the AI-driven defense sector. But amid all this euphoria, there's a growing voice of caution. At a dinner in San Francisco, Sam Altman himself told reporters that yes, valuations are insane, and admitted outright, "We are in a bubble." He's not denying it. But here's the twist. Despite admitting we're in bubble territory, Altman is still betting bigger than anyone else. He told the table, "You should expect OpenAI to spend trillions of dollars on data center construction. We will spend maybe more aggressively than any company who's ever spent on anything. Because we just have this very deep belief in what we're seeing." That's the paradox. On one hand, OpenAI's CEO says valuations are overheated. On the other, he's preparing to outspend everyone in history on infrastructure to keep pushing AI forward. And he's not alone. Mark Zuckerberg at Meta recently echoed something similar. Even while acknowledging bubble risks, he said Meta will still invest heavily to seize the AI opportunity. The logic seems to be that bubbles come and go, But if you control the breakthrough in AGI, artificial general intelligence, you'll control the most valuable technology of the century. The rise of Anthropic, XAI, and Databricks only intensifies this. Anthropic, founded just 4 years ago, is now at $178 billion. Musk's XAI, not even a year old, is climbing toward $200 billion. Databricks hit $100 billion largely on the back of its integration of AI into analytics. And together with OpenAI's $324 billion valuation, they form the core of a private AI sector that is eclipsing entire industries. Since ChatGPT dropped at the end of 2022, these valuations have quadrupled. Think about that. In less than 3 years, $1 trillion of value has been created on paper, fueled by the hunger for AI. And it's not slowing down. Forbes says activity is still accelerating, with more institutions creating funds specifically for AI exposure. Even defense is being reshaped. Anduril at $53 billion isn't a household name, but in defense circles it's huge. Forge's creation of a new defense fund shows how AI is now considered a national security priority, with investors looking for exposure to AI-driven defense technologies as governments pump money into the space. And yet, the skepticism lingers. Are these valuations sustainable? Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan has warned against assuming prices can just keep rising indefinitely. He says sometimes we lose sight of fundamentals when chasing what he calls quixotic ambitions. Still, the momentum is undeniable. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, they're all raising capex, all building infrastructure, all betting that AI will be the backbone of the future economy. And the startups at the center of this, OpenAI, Anthropic, XAI, are the ones attracting nearly all of the private capital. 19 firms raised $65 billion this year, and that's 77% of the total private market flow. So here we are. OpenAI at $324 billion, Anthropic at $178, XAI at $90 but climbing fast, Databricks at $100, SpaceX at $456, Stripe at $92, Anduril at $53. Together, $1.3 trillion in value, almost double in just 1 year. It's one of the most dramatic shifts in capital markets we've ever seen. And the irony is, most of these companies don't even trade publicly. Yet their moves are shaking Oracle, Broadcom, Microsoft, and the rest of the public market giants. Altman calls it a bubble, but still vows to spend trillions. Forge says the growth is real, not projections. Investors keep pouring in. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, the future of AI, and maybe the future of tech itself, is being defined. And that's where we'll leave it. The AI private market is red hot, valuations are insane, and the stakes are only getting higher. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe if you want more deep dives on the biggest stories in AI, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one.